What's for dinner? Hey everyone, I'm Chef Z and welcome back to my channel, Chef Z Cooks. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make salami guisado, which is a delicious Dominican dish. We're going to take some Dominican style sausage, which normally comes pre-cooked, and we're going to brown it to perfection, saute it with onions and peppers until we build a sauce that is truly out of this world. Now, one of the best things about this dish is that it honestly comes together in no time. I love having this dish with white rice or plátano, or my personal favorite, some yuca. You guys know that I'm a yuca girl 100%. Now, the great thing about this dish, aside of it coming together in no time, is that it's actually very cheap to make and it can feed a ton of people. In fact, growing up, this was one of those dishes that my grandmother made when there wasn't that much money around and she just needed to get something on the table really quickly. As an adult, this has grown to be one of my all-time favorite dishes. In fact, you can ask my fiance, no, my husband, surprise guys, I got married. You can ask my husband, he really loves this dish. Now, I will say that not all Dominican sausages and salami are created equal. I'm going to be using some Indubeca salami today, but there are others on the market that you can definitely use. Just know that depending on the salami that you use, it will alter how much seasoning and how much salt you can add, because some salamis are saltier than others. Now, if you want to learn how to make this dish, just go ahead and keep watching. Making salami guisado is actually really easy. This is one of those dishes that you can throw together in no time, especially if you have some unexpected guests show up for dinner. We're going to start off by dicing up our salami. Now, I am using Indubeca because this is actually my favorite brand. However, there are several different brands of Dominican salami that you can use to make this awesome and tasty dish. So once I've made a slit into the packaging of the salami, I'm actually going to remove it, and it's really easy. Now, do keep in mind that Dominican salami comes pre-cooked, so you don't have to worry about this dish coming out raw, because all we're really doing is adding some color to the salami and extracting some of those flavors. Now, you can slice and dice your salami however which way you want. I actually like to cut my salami in half so that I have a flat surface to work with, so it's not rolling all over my cutting board. I then like to make 4 different slits and cut it until I have some square and triangular pieces. Now, honestly, there's no right or wrong way of cutting your salami. You can cut it up into cubes, or you can cut it up into triangles like I'm showing you right here. And this is really simple. Like I mentioned before, you just cut 4 slits, and then you go ahead and you chop up the rest of it. And once you finish chopping up your salami, we're just going to place it into a mixing bowl. So once we finish chopping up all of our salami, we're going to set our flame to medium high, and we're going to add some oil. Now keep in mind that salami will release its own oil, so I don't like to add too much, and if I need some later on, I can always add. So now we're going to add our salami to our heated skillet, and we're going to mix it and just let it brown. Now, depending on how much salami you've cut up will determine how long it will take for it to brown. Keep in mind that I have used up the whole entire salami, which is going to feed around 6 to 8 people, but you can definitely dice up as little or as much as you want. Now, different brands of salami will actually crisp up and brown differently, but they all more or less will brown just the same. And once the salami has browned to our liking, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my sliced onions and my sliced bell peppers. And you can really use whatever kind of onions and peppers you want. So you can use some red onions, you can use green peppers only, or red peppers only, or even some yellow and orange ones. I'm now going to add some garlic, and I'm going to mix it in all together until it's well combined. And I'm also going to add some other seasonings, like a tiny bit of some chicken bouillon cube, some Dominican oregano for that Dominican flavor, and some Sazón con achiote for more color. And I'm going to mix it all together again until it's well combined. Now, like I mentioned before, this dish comes together in no time, and you don't have to worry about burning anything or if the bottom of the pot begins to caramelize, because we will deglaze that later on. So once we've mixed in all the seasonings, I actually like to go in and I like to make a little well in the center, because we're now going to add some tomato paste and some tomato sauce. Feel free to use one or the other, but just know that if you're only using tomato paste, you'll have to add a little bit more than what I'm using here. And if you're only adding tomato sauce, you'll have to add a little bit more tomato sauce to make up for not adding the rest of the tomato paste. So you can definitely alter the proportions for however you like to make it. Just make sure that whatever you're using, you want to definitely make sure to mix it all in. Now, because I used some tomato paste, it's going to need a little bit more working, and I'm also going to add some water to help combine some of that tomato paste. But not only that, the water is also going to help me deglaze the bottom of the pot, which, by the way, has so much flavor. Now, Dominican salami is naturally a little bit salty, and it has a subtle smokiness that's truly delicious. And everyone has their favorite brand because each brand has their own unique flavor. We're now going to let this simmer for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to add some sliced Spanish olives, which, by the way, is totally optional, but you guys know that I definitely love my olives. You can also add some chopped cilantro if you want. I actually don't like to add it to my salami guisado. It's one of my quirks. So once you've added the olives, we're going to let that simmer for another 2 minutes. And then we're going to turn off the flame and take it off the stove. And then feel free to serve this with some freshly fried tostones, white rice, or yuca. So there you guys have it. That's my recipe for some salami guisado. Comment below if you have any questions, and until next week, I'm Chef Z y buen provecho. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to join the Chef Z family and click that button so that you're notified each and every single time I post an all new video. And if you're hungry and looking for some inspiration on what to cook next, go ahead and click right here.